The results of this report are not surprising overall, that many of the indicators show that First Nations children are not doing as well as all other Manitobans. In terms of the high school graduation rates, while it is not surprising, it is concerning that the graduation rates for First Nations children are much lower than compared to all other Manitobans. Like, given the importance of education and the importance of completing school and to go on to post-secondary, I think that we need to work on improving the graduation rates for First Nations. They need to have that opportunity to complete high school, that they can go on to their careers, that they can go to post-secondary and get the training and the degrees so that they can contribute to their home communities, that they can have that opportunity to have professions and jobs where they can, contribute to society and that they can support their families. So I think it's really important that we work towards improving those graduation rates. One of the factors that contributes to the lower graduation rates is that many of our First Nation students have to leave home. They have to leave the comfort of, their surroundings and the land and, the support of their families and, extended families, and that they have to leave their communities to attend school off reserve. So they come to the high schools in the urban centers, and many of them are not familiar with, living in the city. So they experience cultural shock. They might experience racism. They might experience lack of support for, in terms of not only their education, but the social emotional support that they need. So I think that we really need to work on having and creating more programming in their home community, that we need to ensure that there are more high schools built in the home communities in the First Nations on the reserve, so that the children can attend school right from the early years all the way up to high school in their home community. I think if we do that, if we provide those opportunities, that we'll have more success of our First Nations youth graduating from high school and going on to post-secondary and having that, that satisfaction of, completing their high school education, completing their post-secondary education, and having a productive career. So I think that's really important that we work on improving those graduation rates for First Nations. And I think that if we do that in the long term, that it'll work, to build up our First Nations communities and to, to have more economic prosperity and to have people who are employed and who are working and, trying to make things better for, for our First Nations children today and also for the future. So I think that if we can improve those graduation rates for our First Nations, that it'll really be, contribute a lot to, maybe changing some of these indicators to be more positive, and that they'll be more comparable to all other Manitobans.